Hey, it is Jennifer with Playmaker Coaching, and today I'm talking about habits and how to be more successful by understanding ourselves and making small changes that can make a world of difference. I want to talk about two things that have really made a huge difference for me and habits that I've wanted to form. First is drinking more water. I used to have a water bottle like this, 6 to 4 ounces, big, giant, worked really well for me. Well, you know what? It broke. And when it broke, I was like, oh, I've got all these other water bottles, simple enough. I can still drink the same amount of water, not that big a deal. But what I found was the convenience of having it all in one bottle, knowing exactly where I'm at with labels that actually tell me, like, hey, right now it says 1 o'clock. I'm at the 1 o'clock. So I'm ahead of schedule for the day, really made a huge difference for me. So much so that, it I really was seeing a big difference in terms of how much water I was drinking when I didn't have this. I would forget, did I refill my water? How many times have I filled it up? Maybe I refilled it when it was partially emptied. So then at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know how much I drank. But now having this water bottle, and a place where I can put it in my car and it actually fits in the car so I can take it with me easily with the straw and everything has made it so much easier to do what I wanted to do. So sometimes those small things, you hear it all the time about the person, right, that needs the treadmill in their bedroom because if it's not there, they're not going to go and exercise and go to the other room to use it. It's the same kind of thing that I found for my water bottle that really increased my hydration. Another simple thing that I discovered was, and I'll talk about the strategies was how can we, so this was convenience. The other piece was all about pairing things together, pairing something that you're already doing with something that you want to do. So I've been doing really well this year, making sure I'm getting my 10,000 steps going. And if I'm not there during the day, at the end of the day, going down, walking on the treadmill, doing my brain games, getting my rest of my steps in, and sometimes, watching a little TV, enjoying a little something. Well, what I found was that I really wanted to read more business books. I do a good job of listening to podcasts. I enjoy that. But there's some books I just really need to read and read the physical copy, like this Trusted Advisor Confidential that I just got through. And you can see I've got some things I've marked it up with. So it's something that I don't want to do though when I'm going to bed because I need to try to shut off my mind and don't want to be thinking about work or development before I go to sleep. Or it might just also put me right to sleep. It's either going to keep me awake all night thinking about it, or I'm going to fall right asleep. So either way is not very productive. So what I found was if I could pair reading with when I was something I was already doing, going and walking on the treadmill, doing my brain games, and just telling myself all I have to do is read a couple pages, open the book. And these are, like, you can tell, like, pretty easy reads too, that very easy to do while I'm walking. I'm not walking very fast. I could see some success. And man, I've already completed 2 books. I'm on my third, and it's probably been less than a month. So it has made a huge difference for me. So those are a couple quick strategies that I wanted to share with you in terms of what have you found, and love to hear your ideas of habit hacks, things that you are already doing that can maybe make it easier for you to be successful when you want to implement a new habit. So how can you leverage the strategy of convenience? How can you leverage pairing and some other things that you can do? And I learned some of these through listening to Gretchen Rubin. If any of you are familiar with her, she talks a lot about habit change and understanding ourselves. There's many different habits that she mentions, and I can drop the link in the chat so you've got reference to all the different things that she can do that she talks about. Sometimes it's something like treats, giving yourself a little bit of treat of, hey, when I do this, then I get to watch and that's part of my reading too, is like, once I get my reading done, then I can watch my show and I can have that little bit of treat for myself. So that's another part of it. Another strategy might be not breaking the streaks. That's part of my 10,000 steps a day, as well as my brain games is, man, when they show me like, hey, how many days it's been in a row, I love that. Vice versa. When you get to a point where it's like, oh, I missed it, I forgot yesterday. It's like, oh, I know it shouldn't be that big a deal, but it also drives me nuts. I'm like, darn it, I missed that day. So that might be something that you want to leverage, of having a tracker. Sometimes for me, actually having that physically where I have to write it or check it off and it's in front of me makes a huge difference in terms of following through on those habits. So let me know what you use and what you found to be successful for you in terms of having success with new habits. We're back to school. It's like that fall is a new year. Everybody's getting into routines, and a perfect time to be thinking about this, especially before we get into the holidays or, man, New Year's resolutions. Who needs those? Now is the right time to start, right? Start when you're ready, when it makes sense for you. So I'll drop that in the chat and let me know how you're doing with your habits and what week has worked best for you that we could all learn from and use to help us with our habits as well. Hope this is another tip and insights for you on how you can create more winning plays, more systems for success, because by being strategic, consistent, and intentional, that's when you really can see compound growth in your business and your life. We'll be back next Tuesday with more winning plays for your business. Have a great week.